cock, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's get flight, feel once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Let's get cock, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's get flight, feel once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Warm up, now and pass my.
All right, come on. Thumbs up, not hearts, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, you know, it seems like the topic at hand is P. Diddy. I take you all the way back to the early 2000s when P. Diddy had just become an intern at Uptown Records, which was housed in MCA Music, which was where I just happened to have a publishing deal as an MCA songwriter. Woo! Can we get into it, guys? Unfortunately, what I have to say in revealing what I witnessed in that time period was a very young Sean Puffy Combs that had really been busting his chops to appeal to Andre Harrell as the intern of life. He was getting it in. I mean, that was when Albie Shore was there. That was when Jodeci was there. That was when Mantronic was hot. They were up against, that kind of lineage. Mary J. Blige had just been brought to the scene. I just happened to be a fly on the wall at the time. Unlike so many other people that say they were there, I actually was on the ground floor of the groundbreaking P. Diddy as an intern, Mary J. Blige as a new artist, Total, and so many others that were coming through to the Uptown camp. I had never seen a hustle so intense as P. Diddy. He would run through MCA Records like he owned the place. I mean, he would dot. I'm like, who is that skinny little kid? He looks very much like his son looks now. I mean, it's uncanny, but it's almost identical. But he was running through that building like, I am the man, and if I'm not that man yet, I will be soon enough. Lo and behold, there was a writing room. I was an MCA songwriter at the time. I had just penned the song, Seems You Much Too Busy, by the group Vertical Hole. I know y'all remember that song. If you don't, go to YouTube, type in Vertical Hole and the song, Seems You Much Too Busy. You will see a 3-member group there singing, and I'm in the dark. That was what they did because I was overweight and they didn't want anybody to know how overweight I was. So they shadowed me in the dark. So all you saw was my face. That was an attempt to cover me so that it wouldn't hurt the sales of the record. At the time, it was very disheartening because I didn't think the way it had anything to do with my voice. You had 2 Tons of Fun. You had all these other big women that was out there putting it down, from CNC Music Factory and, so many other people who wasn't caught up with that. But I just happened to be at a company where they were anal about how big you were. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't help it. The medication that I was taking at the time, which was prednisone, rendered me to be overweight. It was no way around it. Couldn't get lipo. I couldn't be cut, period, because you would bleed out. So that was something I had to skate across. Anyway, Puffy just happened to be an intern extraordinaire. And I can remember a gentleman by the name of Kurt Woodley who was working for Andre Burrell at Uptown. And I come out of the booth from the writing room, which is a space that we all shared. Uptown, the studio, the publishing office, Tita Gray or James Jackson's office was right there on the shoulder of the corner, the east side of the building. And when I came out, Mary J. Blige's then manager let me know. He says, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" And he said, "My name is Kurt Woodley." I said, "Yeah." He said, "We found an artist that she kind of sounds like you. She reminds us of you, but she's not, polished, and we really think that if you can work with her for a little while, she has a possibility. I mean, she's not nowhere near ready right now, but I didn't know what he was talking about until he finished that sentence, and he said, "We found her at the mall. She was out there doing karaoke. She was doing Anita Baker's music on a karaoke, and they discovered her. It just happened to be Mary J. Blige. And so they said, can you think you can work with her?" And me, I could work with anybody at the time. I was what you call a goat back then. I was hungry. I was passionate about music. So I thought I could fix everything. And so I said, "Yeah, I'll work with her." So they told her, "Okay, you're going to work with Angie Stone. You're going to work with her." And so I took her to my house. At this particular time, I was living in Little Ferry, New Jersey. And I took her to my house. My then partner, Dave Bright, from the group Vertical Hole, was actually, all he was concerned about was trying to become the next big producer. He was infatuated with Teddy Riley. So everything was, how you like this, how you like this. Well, for me, it was cool because at that time, Prince, that's right, the Prince, had given me all of his equipment. I had a Juno 106 that I prided. That was my pride and joy because Prince had used that to cut Jill Jones's material, his material. And he had moved out of his penthouse in New York, and he was really took a liking to me. He says, "Angie, do you want this equipment and this furniture?" Because he couldn't take it with him. And I said, "Yeah." I mean, he had zebra rugs, all purple leather furniture. It was awesome. And at the time, I couldn't fit it all in my house. So I said, "I'm still working a 9 to 5. It's been rough." I said, "But I'll find a storage place and in those tennis skirts." The sequence brought those tennis skirts to reality. And Mary J. Blige made those skirts famous. She wore it, and then the next thing you know, everybody wanted to be like Mary J. Blige. But I personally took it as she got some of that Angie Stone energy in her system, and she went out there like the beast she ended up being. She don't never have to really acknowledge me, but I was surprised at the end of the day when my song that we talked about the other day, Every Day and Die, was leaked on her project. I really thought you had a lot more respect for me than that. After all, my love and my hard work and perseverance with you was genuine. So that's my secret rendition of that whole Uptown scandal. Now, the other piece of the puzzle that you guys would want to know is, I know you recall back then when they had that big concert down at the college, and all the stampedes, and people were killed, and Father MC's baby mama lost her baby in life. It was just a mess. And people were crushed at the door. Well, I'll tell you this. Up until that time, Puffy, like I said, was all over Uptown. He was the man. He was the one that wanted to be recognized for this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And so, you know, very often, you know, he would look right past me. I would be there and he would just keep it moving, wouldn't say anything. I can remember when there were gunmen standing in the hallway at MCA because so many threats had gone out because he and Heavy D, bless his heart and rest his soul, had been together on that party. And all the threats that went out that they were going to do this and they were going to do that. It really resonated and hit home with Puffy. I just happened to be in the studio this particular day. And because he never, ever really bothered with me or spoke to me in that fashion, I wasn't a part of Uptown. I was just at MCA. On this particular day, I was coming off the elevator. I will never forget it as long as I live. And Puffy came to me, first time, speaking to me as a decent human being. And he said, "Hey, Miss Stone." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine. I'm shocked you speaking to me." He said, "Miss Stone, would you please pray with me?" I said, "Well, of course." When he asked me to pray with him, I believe at that moment Puffy was terrified for his life. I think that he was afraid because all of the things that had gone out and about that party, they were singling him out, and I don't think that he thought he was going to survive it. And I was just happy that whenever he didn't speak to me, I knew he couldn't see me. But on this day, he saw the God in me, which was so not about me, but it was so about the spirit that I carried. And I can honestly tell you that this particular day, I stood there and I prayed with Sean, P. Diddy, Puffy, Combs, because he cried out for help. Does that excuse his ongoing behavior? Of course, this was years ago. But the fact that he actually acknowledged God lets me know that at one time he was a real soul that was not tainted to the point that he could not feel. But for the first time, I believe, he feared God. So, I'm here to tell you that, quite contrary to what you guys may think, Sean Puffy Combs asked me to pray for him and with him. And I did. So, just like the student I am, God has the power to forgive. And I'm not saying that I'm praying that this happens for him, but I'm praying that he cries out to the Lord at this time, that whatever he genuinely is dealing with, that God hears his heart. Okay? At this point, I'm going to open the floor for any questions that I can catch up and read. You guys have been gracious to hang out with me. I just kind of wanted to give you a sneak peek into things that I witnessed, that I can give an attest for, that I can honestly say without questioning anybody or second guessing that I've dealt with. Okay? Let me see if I can catch some of these questions. Queen Oracle, Mama Kafek, John, Alexander, Nush, all right, Cynthia, Ortiz, okay, Coteezy, what's up, Cote? Love you. Remember, do you have interest in mentoring or having your own label? I definitely want to be mentored when it comes down to this industry. You need to have a covering over you to protect you because, you know, so much has been going on in the world, but more so in the music industry. You have to. Have I talked about the Calvin Richards song? You have to be prepared for what God has for you. Okay. I have not talked about that. I did 17 songs with Calvin Richardson that are unreleased. They are currently sitting in Marvin Gaye's studio in California. John McClain and John Nettlesby are guarding my reel with their life because there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I wanted to have protected, but some of the best music that we did is on that reel, and Calvin and I have both talked about re-releasing that material. I see you, Cote. I love you back. Leslie Washington. Okay. All right. Love you too. I don't know who this is calling me, but just a minute. Hey there, I'm on my live. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to call you right back. Huh? I'll call you right back. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts regarding Black Americans Queen? Good afternoon from Detroit, Michigan. What's up, Detroit? I'll be there next month.